Hello, welcome, Empathic Crow. That's me, Rebecca. And I'm in this giggly energy because I tried to record this reading and I was getting like flubbed up so much because there is so much coming through and the energy is so intense and exciting. And Spirit kept like trying to slow me down because Spirit is like, you gotta like connect it all. And I'm like, I'm trying to connect it all. So we're just going to see. Things to know about me, I'll put them in the description box, but I do have a website for personal readings that are available. I do have a course that I've just put out, and I have products, just whimsical kind of creations, just being in my element thing, that you are welcome to have a look at the site or whatever, empathiccrow1111.com. So I'm not very good at that promotion type stuff, but I'm trying to remember because if I don't tell you, you may not know. And maybe you did want to see some of my stuff or connect with me. But anyway, I'm just too excited about the reading. Also, with any reading, general or personal, it is not advice as far as like, I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not telling you what to do. Even when I did therapy, I wasn't telling people what to do. I was helping them navigate through things, which is the way I see tarot and mediumship. It is helping, and Reiki. It is helping people navigate through things. Those are my 3 services, by the way. I've got the cards down. I went ahead and left them. I ended the reading because I was like, this is just too disjointed because there's so much information. So all the decks are shuffled. I've already pulled cards from the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. This is a pocket deck. And we're just going to go ahead and start from here because there was so much. So the stones, Pyrite was one of the first stones that came to me. So we've got this Pyrite right here that is very sparkly. And that is part of this because whether you are allowing yourself to shine right now or not, like you're getting there. You're getting there. And then this is Casper. That was the name that came to me while meditating. He is a zebra jasper with pyrite. So with that and the other stone that came to me, which is Bumblebee Jasper. So I've got a slab here and I've got the tower. For some reason, I was called to pick up every single one I had. That's part of the message. Thank you, Spirit. I started with this little Bumblebee Jasper because I really, really wanted a Bumblebee Jasper. And at the time, I was trying to not spend money on stones. I still try to not spend money on stones. I have way more stones than I probably should. But at the same time, you can't just not do the thing. It's about finding balance. So then I got the slab and the tower at a gemstone show. But with this, you can see that there is the gray and black that is that grounding energy, and then there's also yellow and orange, which is the solar plexus and sacral chakra. So with the Bumblebee Jasper, it's actually not a jasper, it's calcite and volcanic ash. And I can't remember right now where it comes from. I think Indonesia, but I could be wrong. Either way, that is not part of the point. The other stone was this quartz, and I was told to do the specific quartz because there's a piece right here, I don't know if you can see it, where there would have been a point or, yeah, another quartz point that was growing out, but it's not there. And so the message that I'm getting from that is that even if there are pieces and parts, and that can be people, that can be pieces and parts of you, things that you have done, whatever, that are not a part of you now, that it doesn't take away from you as a whole. There's still value and worth to this quartz, even if it doesn't have that point that has been removed or fell off or whatever. It's still something that is powerful, that holds a lot of energy. And like I said, it has value. So like I said, I feel like this message, even though I'm re-recording it, is still going to be very all over the place just because there's a big energy behind this. Like you have a big energy, but I feel like you've been suppressing it. And so it's going to be finding balance between being grounded, but also having confidence, letting go of worries, leaning into transitions, even if they don't feel comfortable, and being able to recognize, I didn't even realize I had lit my solar plexus candle earlier. So leaning into that change and confidence and building things that bring you joy, that bring you passion, creativity, that you are in your element. One of the phrases that came out when I was trying to record this earlier was let your freak flag fly. And so it's you just being you. So we'll go ahead and go through the cards that had already come out. So the first card that had come out is the Ace of Swords. And I feel like that's you right now. You have an idea of what you want, or you have things in front of you. This is the idea. You have things in front of you and you're coming up with ideas of how to do it. So the Ace of Swords is saying, let's kind of get this really strategically planned. Let's be a bit logical about this. There's this light right here. We're connecting to source. That can be higher self, divine, whatever it is. Like you are just, it's allowing yourself to slow down. And even when I was trying to record this before, Spirit kept slowing me down sometimes. It's allowing yourself to slow down and say, okay, what do I want to do? And if that doesn't work, what's the next thing I can do? So it's being logical and grounded while also allowing yourself to recognize the potential. So I feel like that's where we get this spiral. So this is coming through in a different way. So thank you, Spirit, for having me record this before and it being like this observation of so many things. And then now we're coming in at a grounded energy. And I feel like that's important for you because this is where we're at. Like there may be so many ideas and so many directions and things that you can do, but Spirit's saying, okay, that's great. And maybe you could do all those things. But for right now, you've got to clear your thoughts, be clear-thoughted, clear thinking, know what you want, and be able to express it. Communicate what it is that you want and need. I have my black obsidian mirror in front of me, and I'm seeing the card reflecting, but what is it showing me? Because there was something, let me soften my eyes a little bit. So that was showing me kind of like a cloaked figure. So I feel like you've been in hermit mode. It was showing me just like this darkness, almost like a cave. And then in gray, a gray cloak, there was this figure that the hood was up and they were walking toward the cave. So I feel like you've kind of been closed off and inside. But the thing is, you're being called to shine. Like you're being called to come out of that shell. And that message comes through in even the next card, which was the Three of Cups. So this is where, yes, you want to be discerning about the people that you bring into your collective or your group, your community. You know, with the Bumblebee, Jasper, even the message of the bee often represents community. You know, that hive, that working together. Now, I heard hive mind, and I'm not a huge fan of that term. Because I feel like for some people, it can seem like it's trying to say we should all think alike or we should all work to one thing. And so while that's not a bad thing to work toward one goal, it's that you don't have to be like everyone else, which is what came out in the next card, which was the World card. And this is where I heard let your freak flag fly. Because if you look at this card, she's got the rainbow dress on. She's connected. She is not like holding her body in. She's just got her arms out. She's natural. She knows that she may not have everything, but at the same time, she's got the world, the possibilities, the opportunities, the support, all the things that she needs. And then we, of course, have this circular image, like it's all connected. And it's all just cycles of life. Definitely different messages are coming through along with some of the same messages. And so with that, the Three of Cups and then the World is 21, which breaks down to a 3. I want you to notice, like, this person has on their rainbow dress, and whether you're male or female, I see that as just kind of allowing yourself to be and show who you are. And then even in this card, one of the things I'd noticed the first time I tried to record this is that, yes, she has her dress pulled out to the side, like they're just being free, but like her legs are exposed. And so I feel like that for you, it is letting yourself shine, and it may feel like you're exposing aspects of yourself that maybe you've tried to keep hidden because of those societal standards. Like, this is hello world, I'm here, is the way I see this card right now. I'm here, I'm me. And not that I don't care what you think, but at the same time, if what you think is judgmental and it doesn't matter and it's not hurting anyone, then no, I don't care what you think. That's just the energy that's coming to me. But I feel like you had to kind of push through to get here. That's where you're getting. And it's finding the people that they're there with you. Like, they're just being themselves too. And they're drawn to you being yourself. Don't let the fear that you have to be a certain way in order to achieve certain things get in the way. And the people, that's where this comes in. Okay. The people that may have fallen away, or the situations, the options, things like that, that are no longer a part of you, it's okay, because they were only a temporary part of your journey. They weren't meant to be here now. It's not to say they won't come back around, and then you still have the choice of whether you let them back in or not. So the next card that came out was the Two of Wands. Again, we just had the World card and we've got the globe in here. So there are a lot of things that you can choose from. We have a lot of that sacral chakra energy with the orange in the card, and also some of the solar plexus. So still in the same theme here. And I feel like, again, this is kind of leading back to, with similar colors in this card, with the black pants and the orange, the black background, being grounded, but 11:22 on the clock, being grounded, but also looking at your passions and connecting with higher self, source, that inner guide, and your spirit guides, whoever your team is, and saying, what is it that I want? Making those decisions, not just from a place of logic and discernment, but also from a place of allowing yourself to think about what you really are drawn to. What are your passions? She has the one wand in her hand and the other one's off to the side. And I feel like this is I know that I have options. I'm going to kind of think about them. She's got this brochure right here that has that Volkswagen van, it looks like, on it. Yeah. And so she knows there are options. She's got some things that she can look at here and research and see what it is. And then she also is looking out the window. She knows that there's the world outside right in front of her. So this to me is saying that you're not limited in what you want. And then even there's a string of lights above her. And there's lights above these people, like the glowing lights, that your light is shining no matter what. And you don't want to dim your light. There's a sparkle there. I keep seeing sparkles, not just because I have pyrite in front of me, but I keep seeing sparkles. Now, this is where the big decision comes from. The Tower was the next card, and understanding that even though this poor squirrel, its home has been destroyed by the lightning bolt coming in, it doesn't mean that everything is gone. It may mean that what you had in the past, again, going back to that quartz, is no longer available to you, or it no longer fits. It's not what you need. But that's where the Tower comes in, is that in order to change, and I think there are some butterflies in here, or that the flames at least look like butterflies. In order to change, in order to have that transformation, something has to give, something has to leave. Yep, there's a butterfly wing right there. So like I said, it's symbolizing that transformation, and that's not always coming through from our own personal choice. Sometimes things happen, and I feel like this has already happened or started to happen for you. And that's why you're needing to get into, or you're already in this mode of the Ace of Swords, of getting clear with your thoughts, communicating your needs, even to yourself, communicating your needs, knowing that it's okay for you to set the boundaries that pull in or create situations where you have people who respect those boundaries and who connect with you no matter what. You're not having to put on a mask, whereas in the past you may have felt like you had to diminish yourself. And nothing about these stones or this reading is saying to diminish yourself. That's part of the excitement that's coming through for me, because all of this is saying it's time for you to grow. Now, 2 more aces had come out before I stopped the camera, and I had not interpreted them yet, because I got to the Two of Wands and I was like, we were already 20 minutes in. Right now we're at 14:26. And I was like, I've got to like slow down, reground, and restart this. And maybe the reason I'm telling you that I did restart this is saying to you, even if you start going down a path and it's not working, it doesn't mean that all is lost. You can always change paths. You can always pivot. You can always do something different. So the Ace of Cups is one of the aces that came out in reverse. And I feel like this is understanding that you don't have to guard your heart is all I'm hearing. You don't have to guard your heart. You want to be discerning. You want to be protective in a way that you're not, again, pulling in those relationships and supports or whatever that were draining and weren't helping you. Associates. All right, associates. Not bringing in associates. You're bringing in people who are connected to you, who are wanting the best for you. And you've got to trust yourself, which is why I think this Ace of Wands is coming in upside down. So with this Ace of Wands, you can manifest the things that you want, and you can manifest your passions and your desires. But if your heart, if you're guarding it so much and you're blocking it so much, and this is similar to a message I was recording not too long ago, if you're guarding your heart so much, you're not going to get the things that you want. So in order to turn this around, it's finding the balance, balancing those emotions, knowing that what you want, you can have, knowing that those passions, those joys that you, I don't know why I said it so weird, the joy that you want, the imagination, the creation, the things that you are thinking of, you can have them. And it's about grounding. Look at her very like meditative, peaceful face versus the fiery energy coming up. Like you are connected to source. You are connected to your creative spirit. You are connected to so many different things. And that's, again, I'm coming back. I'm seeing the Ace of Swords, and that's why you've got to kind of balance these two. The Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands, you got to find that balance. And the heart, you've got to... So these aces are saying you can have these things, but you've got to find balance for them. You got to balance your thoughts and your communication. You got to balance your heart, your emotions, and you got to balance that energy, that passionate energy, and get it grounded so that you can manifest and create the things you want. Because if it's just the energy I'm feeling right now, which is very like exciting but chaotic, why I had to stop the other recording, it's going to be really hard to get to where you want to be because you're not going to be able to slow down enough to use that discernment with your choices. And then it can lead you more quickly to places where you feel like you have to change and pivot a lot. So those are the cards that had come out before I stopped the first time. So what I'm going to do, do I want to look at the tarot? Where do we want to go? Spirit, what do we need to look at? All right, so I'm being called to the Priestess of Light Oracle. I have already shuffled it, so I don't know why I'm trying to shuffle it again. Let's see what comes out of here. So Spirit, what does the collective who needs to see this video or who would benefit from this video, what is it that they need to focus on to get grounded? Good Lord. I say as a bunch of cards come out. We're going to use them because as I'm looking at them, I mean, it's basically Spirit saying I said what I said. Even in the order that the cards are coming out. So we'll go ahead and take them, even though that is 6 cards that came out. So the first one is Invocation, New Creations. And that is number 20. And now I know why I have the Lapis Lazuli up here as well. I thought that was for me because I love it. And of course, Lapis is that intuition. And also we've got that Pyrite, but this is partly you because notice how this matches. So the number is 20. So that's a 2. And looking at it, we've got the balance here. So she's got like a hawk here, a hawk here. You're clear-sighted, but it's being able to see both sides. And that's where that Ace of Swords came in. It's finding a balance between the things that you want and the things that will get you to where you want to be. It's allowing yourself to shine, but also notice the colors of her clothes, and she's staying grounded. So with that, she's invoking this creativity, this passion and everything, but she's staying very grounded because when you're in that balanced energy, it's not just the excitement and creation and that you're doing things, but you're also able to bring it in a way that it moves you forward, that you can do something with that energy. And then 24, which is a 6. So this is adjustment, looking back and versus moving forward. So with this, it's understanding, and this brings in even that Quartz, and also where we had the 3 of Cups as the second card, that this is not holding on to the things of the past. You acknowledge them. They're a part of your journey. They're things that may have even helped to get you to where you are now, whether that's lessons or experiences that gave you more information, or if they were things that literally helped you forward, like it was a part of the journey that you needed to get where you are. But it's, again, balance is a big thing that's coming through. And I had said that when we started, because she's got the owl here. We've got not only the intuition, but I'm seeing this very protective too. But it's also her using her own intuition. She's wise, she's intuitive. So you can get kind of outside information, but I'm hearing you don't need it. It's just going inward. You, your higher self, divine. Things that come in from other people, again, use your discernment. She's got like magic or sparkles coming out of her hands, still getting used to this light setup. And this card comes through with a powerful energy, but notice the colors are muted. So even though the colors aren't as vibrant as the others, it still has that balance and it still has that power. So I mentioned the 3 of Cups. Friendship was the next card that came out. That's 14, and 14 breaks down to a 5. So we're talking about change, support, fun, unity, and play. So again, like I said, it's leaning into what we talked about with the 3 of Cups from the, I knew I had a hiccup coming on. There we go. From the Light Seers Tarot. That there are friendships. Some of them will have remained. Some of them are going another way, but it's finding the people who are supportive of you, and that these people, just like how you may identify for yourself, are not necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea, or they may be people that you look at them on the outside and you think, oh, I don't know that they'd like me, but you fit together. So it's not, I keep hearing not judging a book by its cover, and I feel like that's coming from the past, from this card where it says the adjustment, that you're understanding that just because people may represent or seem like people that you've known in the past who may not have been as supportive or treated you as well, or you thought you could trust and you couldn't, that you're not judging that. And I'm also noticing like the sedimentary structure, very, all I can think of is canyon. All I heard was Old Canyon, and I'm like, that's not what it's called. The Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. The Old Canyon. I mean, it is old. Your energy is wonderful. Like, Spirit is in love with you. You crack Spirit up, and like your energy is so playful, so don't hide that. Don't hide that playful energy. The people who appreciate that play, and I realize that's the last word there on that card, they are coming toward you, and they are going to be great supports for you to have. Sorry, my nose is like super itchy. All right, the next card is Idyllic Times, 48, which breaks down to a 12, which breaks down to a 3, and we've been talking about the 3 of Cups. The Garden and Paradise. So this card, again, doesn't have a lot of colors in it, but notice this card is kind of where, again, you're bringing it in. So even though there's this vibrancy about her, there's this energy, like she just makes you want to be in her field. She seems very serene, but also energetic at the same time. Like it's, again, the duality of it all. She also has this owl on her head. So discernment is a big thing here. You knowing that you have the knowledge that you're wise enough to be able to make the decisions, not that you wouldn't be wise enough, but if you feel like you're not making the right decisions, or that because of past choices, maybe you feel like you're not skilled enough, Spirit saying you've got the knowledge, you've got the skills, you've got to trust yourself, but you also have to get into this more peaceful space. With the Garden and Paradise, I feel like it's creating your own paradise, kind of like creating heaven on earth for your passions and things that you want to build. It's you being able to, whether that's nature or not, go into a space that supports you. And maybe that is a garden or a park or something like that. But I'm seeing you get inspiration for whatever you're doing from nature, from the outside world. And that's where this card is coming in. There's a lot of structures in the card, even where it's kind of the owl's feathers, but it also could look like it's a patterned like mandala or even a Victorian motif. So I feel like you're super eclectic, and I love that because so am I. And elegant in a way. Oh, and I totally missed, as I was talking, the butterfly glowing in her hands. Like, you're transforming, and I feel like this is also saying that it's not putting yourself in a box. It's not feeling like you have to have a label, that you have to say, this is who I am, and this is what I want, and things like that. This is you being able to trust your transformation, trust yourself, be yourself, and know that change is hard, but you're going to make it through. I paused for a second because that butterfly is still just calling me back to it. And again, the light around it, yellow, solar plexus, and then the butterfly itself is a beautiful, oh, apparently wants to go on the floor, orange monarch butterfly. Okay, I'm going to be highly aware that it's down there, so we'll pause. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Plus, I also feel bad if I drop my cards or stones on the floor. I know. They are cards and stones, but at the same time, I respect and honor everything, whether other people understand it or not. And so that's part of it, like I said, is just being yourself. And if other people don't understand it, that's okay. Oh, no. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. The card got a little bent on the end from hitting the floor, and that could even be part of the message, too. I like for things, I was the kid that would rewrite even my notes. Like, you're not turning your notes in. I would rewrite even my notes if I had to mark through something, which created more work for me. Yes, I'm supposed to tell you this because it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to keep redoing the same thing. And so this is, again, some of those things that you may need to give up because it's not helping you. 29, which breaks down to 11, which is a master number. That just is what it is. Wisdom, learning, joy, art, and music. So maybe your passion with that creativity is art. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's an expression of art that is different from what others think. I saw a video the other night. It was, I don't remember, but it was mixing up like old Irish music with like a dance type of music and a fiddle. I don't know. It was like a fusion that you wouldn't expect. That's not the right word either. But it worked. It worked. And I told my husband, I said, look at this video. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that, but that actually works. So I feel like that's important too, because you see in this card, there's like so much going on and there's so many different things, and even the multiple arms, like you don't have to choose one path. And that's been a theme we've talked about earlier in the reading. You don't have to choose one path. And with this swan, I'm thinking of like what is it? The black swan, the ugly duckling. There we go. The ugly duckling. It wasn't actually an ugly duckling. It just wasn't the actual bird. So like, what was it? A duck among the swans. I'm trying to speak quickly because I'm trying to be mindful of time, but at the same time, again, Spirit saying slow down because you're not saying it right. And that's a message for you too, being able to slow down. Not because I'm not saying it right, but because when we feel like we have to rush to do something, we may mess up. So this is you slowing down, knowing that you don't have to make a fast, quick decision, and you can take multiple paths or do multiple things. I'm going back to the World card, and then right after it, we had the Two of Wands, where it's saying, you know, you've got options, and you don't have to even choose a clear path that others have. And also with these two swans and how they're bent together, that this will bring the people to you, just like we talked about with that Three of Cups. It brings the right people to you. The people who will appreciate and love and want to be a part of what you're creating. Because you're creating new things. And behind her, this could look like a sun or a moon. That's behind her. You're just illuminating. The last card that came out of the Priestess of Light deck is 52, which breaks down to a 7. Hidden Knowledge, Akashic Records, Silent Understanding. So while this card is very vibrant and it's like you coming out of your shell, this card is talking about going inward. So again, we're ending on that balance that I even talked about with the Bumblebee Jasper and with Casper, my zebra Jasper and Pyrite dragon head. It's being completely yourself. The part that's hidden is your inner knowing, your connection. You don't have to share that, the information that you have, until you're ready. Let yourself shine. But that connection, nobody else can tell you how to do it. Nobody else can tell you what you're meant to do, how you're supposed to do it. There is no wrong way. As long as you're connecting and you're being discerning and feel that you are receiving what you need, that's the main thing. And I stopped because I'm seeing a little bit more in here. So we have the full moon, and of course that is allowing ourselves to release things that no longer serve. So that's part of what we're doing, even if it's something that's been part of your past, whether that's past lives or past within this lifetime. There's a, what is that called? A lynx, or I think it's called a lynx is what's on her head. I do not know the meaning for lynx, and I also do not have my computer out right now. But that may be something to look up, so that, because I just keep getting drawn to it more than I am her face. And if you look at the card, her face is more defined than the lynx or the cat is. I think it's a lynx. So you may want to look that up. When I watch this back, if I remember, I'll look it up and see what the information is. Let's something's calling to me, but I'm trying to decide what it is. I feel like this is how your brain is working. Like there's so much in there, and that's why Spirit keeps saying, slow down. What is it? What am I being called to? All right, I'm being called to my obsidian. Give me just a moment. What am I seeing? We're going back to that cave. I think that was from this one, or was it the one I deleted? Either way, there was a cave with a cloaked figure that was going into it, but I'm seeing the cave now, but from the opposite perspective. Now it's the cloak hood is off, and it's walking out, and there's a light. So yeah, you're coming out of the shadows. Still getting used to doing that, because usually I just close my eyes and meditate, but or sometimes it even just thoughts appears in my head. I'm one of those people that if you tell me imagine an apple, I'm seeing the apple 3D, I'm rotating it, I'm seeing the glare, I'm seeing the color, whatever color it is, I can taste it, smell it, whatever. So again, take what resonates, leaves what doesn't. But yeah, so yeah, I heard coming out of the shadows, coming out of the shadows, coming out of the dark. You're just coming out of your shell in general. And we started with that Ace of Swords that's represented with a very shell-like structure on her head. So get grounded, know what it is that you want, and know that you can have it, but you've got to find that balance between grounding and letting go of anxiety and allowing your confidence and your shine and sparkle to come through. We're going to leave it there. You don't need anything else. You've got all the pieces, even if some aren't there right now. It's okay. You are who you are, and just keep shining. This is such a beautiful energy, and I just feel like this swell of pride in my heart. Whoever you are, I'm excited for you and what's coming for you, and just know there is no wrong choice. It's just being discerning and changing direction. Unfortunately, with that tower, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means sometimes we got to look in a different direction and come at it. I'm seeing the green and the green of my shirt from a place where we're heart-centered, and that also extends to you, that you're compassionate to yourself. that is it. That is more than enough. And I hope that this reading was helpful, that you enjoyed it. If you feel like there's somebody that could benefit from it, please share. And if you feel called to, I would absolutely love for you to come to my website and have a look at it. Leave me a comment, whether it's about the website, the reading, my YouTube channel in general, whatever, just any feedback, connection, information. I love it all and I appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here, for watching. And hopefully I bring more messages that are helpful to you. Take care.